Good evening to everyone present here. It is truly a matter of immense pride and joy to welcome you all to the 68th online interactive section and the 51st Leadership Development Program by Corporate Mentor organized by Delhi School of Professional Studies and Research. I extend my heartfelt greetings to our Honorable Senior Professor Ajay Kumar Singh sir, our respected Director Professor Dr. Mahesh Sharma sir, respected Registrar Dr. R.S. Singh sir, our esteemed guest speaker Miss Indu Wadhwa ma'am, respected faculty members and my dear fellow students. I Vishesh, a proud student of BCom Honors at DSPSR batch 2024 to 28, feel deeply honored to present before you today for this very special session. This program is not just an event, but a platform where ideas are exchanged, knowledge is shared, and future leaders are inspired. At DSPSR, we firmly believe that education transcends textbooks and true learning happens when we interact with industry experts and visionary leaders like our speaker today. Today's session marks a significant step in our journey towards holistic development, leadership, excellence, and professional readiness. Lighting to commence this session on an auspicious note, let us take part in the symbolic ritual of lighting the virtual lamp. This act presents the removal of darkness and the ushering in of wisdom and enlightenment. May this flame of knowledge guide us towards clarity, confidence, and success in the days ahead. Now I request Arun sir to kindly play the virtual lamp lighting video.
वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा शुभं भवतु कल्याणम् आरोग्यं सुखसम्पदा शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते
It is my great honor to welcome our distinguished speaker for today, Miss Indu Wadhwa ma'am, founder and principal consultant at Aspiring People. Miss Indu Wadhwa ma'am brings with her an extraordinary experience of over 30 years in HR and general management across industries like services, manufacturing, IT, telecom, hospitality, power, health, BPO, and exports. Her last corporate role was as Senior Vice President HR and IR at G4S, where she was part of the management board and commanded a workforce of more than 1 lakh employees across the country. Driven by a passion for personal and professional development, Indu Wadhwa ma'am founded Aspiring People, focusing on coaching, mentoring, leadership development, post compliance, inspirational workshops, and HR transformation. She has authored a book titled My Book The Journey Beyond MBA and served as a guest faculty at leading institutions such as MDI, IMI, SCH, SCM, HRD, SRCC, BIMTech, and MET. She is a certified coach, trainer, assessor, and DISC professional. We are truly privileged to have you with us today, ma'am. Your insights on leadership, HR strategy, and personal excellence will surely inspire us all. We are equally honored to have Mr. Dhyan P.S. Chauhan sir as the moderator for today's session. Mr. Dhyan is a seasoned business HR leader with over 30 years of experience in building sustainable, best-in-class organizations using innovative HR practices and technology. He currently serves as Managing Director of Amazing HR Services Private Limited, providing strategic HR advisory services to board and C-suite leaders, shaping the future of organization in a BUCA world. His extensive experience in strategic HR consulting, organizational design, compliance, and leadership development makes him the perfect moderator for this leadership program. We warmly welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much. So let's begin the show. 2, 3 महेश साहब नमस्कार.
सर नमस्कार. सर कैसे हैं आप?
First class. आपकी कृपा. So first thing is that the experience of Indu Wadhwa ji is 43 years. She started her career in 1982. And her first organization was All India Institute of Medical Sciences. Then she moved on into various roles. And in 1982, HR as a function did not exist. It was personnel management and administration and industrial relations. So she has mostly handled large organizations in hotels like Centaur or Anand Group, Gabriel, Goetze. So you can imagine a workforce of all males, unions, strikes, lockouts, and the personal handling that is a female HR head. So there is a lot to learn from her, that is one. She's also known as Iron Lady of India, like Dr. Kiran Bedi. Her decisions have been very stunning and startling. And she has never compromised on what is in the organization's interest. She's known for that actually in the HR fraternity. Today, she is still the go-to person for a lot of people who are HR heads or even now retired as HR heads for advice. Second caveat I want to put in this discussion is that I am presently in a place which is going natural turbulence. There is a lot of rains. In case power gets cut, I will join back from mobile, but that will take me a while. In that case, Dr. Singh or Professor Mahesh Gupta will continue the session and I will again join back in a while from my mobile. But if power doesn't go, then we will continue as it is. So over to you, madam. And Arun, please take care that whenever I join, keep me made co-host so that I can mute my mic or camera, etc., etc. So
Sure.
3 caveats for the discussion.
Thank you.
Madam,
Thank you.
you have a career which is longer than 90% of people present in this room. Their age, I'm talking of. So
I started in 1980, not 82. It's 45 years of experience.
45, yes.
All right.
Even 2025 minus 82.
बाद में कर लेंगे. Doesn't make a difference, 43 or 45, doesn't make a difference.
Okay. So, madam, what management lessons or leadership lessons would you like to share in such a vast journey where you have handled a male-dominated world? And at that time, very few people, very few ladies venture into the world of personnel management or industrial relations or labor unions or strikes or lockouts, that kind of violent environment. What learning would you have to share for all the fraternity of this group?
First of all, thank you very much, Dr. Ajay and the faculty of the Institute for inviting me. I am really honored and pleased to be with all of you. Going back the memory lane today, I will recall many of my real life experiences. Thank you, Dhyan, for the wonderful introduction. In fact, you've spoken much more than what I deserve. And thank you, Vishesh, student, very enthusiastic student. First of all, I'm going to say one thing. I am not going to talk about the bookish language or the management jargon, what is available in books and internet and blog articles and a whole lot of things. Anybody and everybody can read all those things and then come to terms with that. I am going to share hardcore experiences of real life, as what Dhyan said. And my professional journey was, I would say, when I look back now, I would say it was very rewarding. But when I was going through all those experiences in my young age, those were quite a few challenges which I faced. And I am going to share those experience in the storytelling mode so that students find it interesting. We can have question answers either in the end or there and then. I am comfortable with
Question
both
answers
formats.
are in the end.
I am comfortable with both the formats. In the end, it's fine. Dhyan, you asked me a question, what management lessons and what leadership lessons I learned. I'll talk about both the kind of lessons. My first view is that all management starts with self-management and all leadership starts with self-leadership.
Dr. Singh khush ho gaya.
I think Dr. Singh, our views looks like resonate with each other.
Yes. I took a session for about 3 hours on this one.
All right. I was seeing through, I was really impressed with that, virtual lamp lighting ceremony, and where you Vaktund Mahakaya and then excellence, values, and tradition. Very, very few people really talk about Indian traditions and values and those things. They just follow the English format. So I was really impressed, and my compliments to you for that, following that format.
Thank you, madam.
All right. First thing I said was all leadership is self-leadership and all management is self-management. And when I started my career journey, first in the AIMS, I was slightly lost, found my way, and very soon I moved out to, I discovered I was not in the right place because that job was medical social worker come counselor. I went to industry in NTPC. When I said self-management and self-leadership, when I joined, I had 3-4 people reporting to me, but I did not know where the personal files, where the file started. That time in the old era, the file started from the end. You had to start reading it from the last page, and then there were green sheets, noting sheets, and all that. And how to maintain a file, I really did not know. When I asked a couple of people, they made fun of me. And that was my first lesson to learn. Develop competence in yourself, wherever you join, whatever you do. What happens in that company? What is your role? And how do you do it? That was the first lesson. So in NTPC, I joined in 1984, and the company had started somewhere in 1975, became functional around 80. To know about the company, when some people made fun of me, officer ban ke aa gaye hain, pata to hai nahi kuch. That was the comment one of my juniors who was reporting to me made, and that has stayed with me till date. So my self-learning and self-leadership started. I went around digging into old Almira's files, asking to seniors to give me the Almira keys, going to stores, starting from Office Order 001, first policy letter which NTPC had issued. Till then, till I joined, what all had happened. And this practice, whenever I changed my job, any company I went to, I started initially digging into two things. Today is the time of, today we are in the digital era. Everything is available on the internet. Companies have websites. That was not the time. Internet was also not there. So whatever old files I could dig into, I could find, I could go to seniors. And the oldest policy matters and all that, I would go and initial few days just sinking my head into the files as much as I could know about that company. That is where I started every job. And the best experience was with DCM Group. Shriram Pistons I worked for, and Sir Charatram, industry icon, people know it. DCM Group in its time was one of the top 5 industrial houses of the country. Iconic. And I was lucky Sir Shriram was still alive. And fortunately for me, unfortunately for the company, but fortunately for me, General Manager HR and seniors, couple of people were there who had left, and I was only assistant manager there. But almost for good 1 year, I was ipso facto acting as the HR head of Shriram Pistons, and Sir Charatram used to come to the office once in a while, once in 2-3 months. Lala Charatram. Yes. Iconic personality. People used to tremble looking at him. And I went to, my bosses, sent me to his house also to get some papers signed and all that. Attending meetings chaired by Sir Charatram. And policy writing, I would say that one of the top few companies where mastery of how do you write a personal policy or any policy for the organization. Policy writing in itself is an art. When I dug into that, their policy, their old phone files, how do you write policies? That was one thing I learned, and which I practiced in all my subsequent companies, and even till today. In my consulting domain, some companies approached me to write their HR manuals, and I have followed the best practices there, some of the best ideas. And one thing which was best there at that point of time, it was not a dead system in DCM. Every policy document at the end would have this policy is valid for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 years, whatever, 2-3 years, will come up for review in this 1 month. Before, they had a system, that was manual, but they had a system that diary dispatch clerk, if the policy is expiring on 31st August, so 1st of August, he will send a flag to the concerned HOD. This policy of your department is just will come to an end after 1 month, so please review it. So if it has to be carried on, that HOD takes over. If it is to be reviewed, they will review. If it is to some changes to be made, they will make it. Otherwise, it goes on. That was one thing. And another good thing there was, in case of any controversy or any difficulty in interpretation, the interpretation of the owner department will be final. If it's an accounts related policy, accounts department's interpretation is acceptable. Sales policy, sales and marketing department's explanation is final. HR policy, HR's final. So some of the very, very finer aspects of the policies, and nobody told me that. I just picked up on my own, and later, when couple of times when I found the time, I went to my boss and asked him. I was reporting to the director, sir, what is the meaning of this policy? So that was one lesson when I said all leadership is, you are very lucky. For the students, I am saying, you are very, very lucky if you find a very good mentor, guide, coach in your boss. If you don't find that, or your boss is not taking direct interest, take interest in your own grooming, in your own learning, in your own development. When I say all management is self-management, now I'm coming to that was leadership oriented point. This is self-management point. Everything what the boss tells, you keep on waiting for the instructions. People keep on waiting for the instructions for the boss to give instruction, and then you do it. I believe where required, you wait for the instructions. Where not required, be on your own and keep moving. Be on your own and keep moving. For example, anything you do when you are working, I believe it has 3 aspects. One aspect is what is to be done today. Your boss tells you, do it right now. Second aspect is, today you have done the assignment. But how did you do? What are the working sheets, working formulae, working systems, background information? Systematically collating and preserving that information, because 3 months, 6 months, 1 year down the line, somebody is going to raise a question on that, and then people would start. I fumbled. That is how I learned it. Then you keep on, putting the whole thing together. Oh, where is my working sheet? How did I had at one point of time massive responsibility of MIS, and especially G4S, that was my last this thing, more than 1 lakh guards across the country, and whole lot of different things. Putting MIS together in itself was a issue. Somebody raising a question 3 months later, you don't know how did you work out with that formula and that much of rate of turnover rate and all that. So once you do an assignment, preserving the background working and background information systematically is very important, so that tomorrow, whether you are on that seat or not, any senior person asking a background question, you should be able to answer. Third important aspect of the job is being proactive, anticipating, knowing where your department is going. When you are in a junior position, naturally what your boss is doing, what are his priorities, where your department is going. And if you are in a senior position, then where your company is going. Anticipating what your boss may ask you tomorrow, and silently, proactively preparing for that also. Most of the time, most people, what my observation has been in industry, they just focus on currently what is the job at hand. They are done with that, and that's it. What I say, sameto us kaam ko piche se. और अगला क्या करना है वो सोचिए. Preserving background information and then moving forward. That's another thing which nobody is going to tell you, which is not you. You are not going to find it in the books. Taking initiative. Now I'm coming to self leadership. Taking initiative. That's very important. And I'll share a real life story. I was in NTPC Wadhwa Power Station. Those days we used to have 6 days a week, and general manager was beaten up very, very brutally. 468 people put in Tihar jail and whole lot of things. And that was my early starting point in my career. Just about 8-9 months I had just joined the NTPC, and this episode happened. Management put in massive efforts to handle this situation. Control room was created, which was functioning around the clock, and a batch of 5 of us at the induction level was hired. Everybody was assigned responsibility except me, and I, for first 3 for 5 days, I kept on watching people going here, there, this, that, what not happening, and I was just sitting. At that point of time, my boss didn't even have the time to tell me anything. What job should I do apart from very routine, ongoing things? So for about 1 week, 10 days, I watched what was happening. Then I went to my boss and I asked, Sir, you have allocated responsibilities to everyone. You have not given me any job. You've not associated me in this entire process. And my boss immediately said, Mrs. Wadhwa, you are a very young lady. You have very small 2 children. This may require this, dealing with unions. This may require staying on late. And this may, you may be required to come on Sundays. And when you come on Sunday or otherwise, there may be Zindabad, Murdabad, there may be Giraus. How will you handle? You will not be able to handle such a tough situation. And my reply to my boss was, Sir, you have not given me any responsibility and you have concluded that I will not be able to handle this.
Wow. Wow.
That
wow.
was,
That's
and that was Badarpur to my home. That was, once you miss that company's chartered bus, you have to come in ordinary DTC bus, and Badarpur area was not a very safe area in that point
I
of
know,
time.
I know.
In the evenings, I'm saying for the young students, in the evening it was not a safe place. But I told my boss, without allocating any responsibility to me, you have decided and concluded that I will not be able to handle this.
I would
And
say,
then,
madam, if this quality is ingrained in every student today in 2025, they don't need any other management lesson. कि हाँ, मेरे को सैटरडे नहीं देखना, मेरे को संडे नहीं देखना, मेरे को काम चाहिए, मुझे काम करना है, मुझे मेहनत करनी है. ये क्वालिटी आज की डेट में उल्टा हो गया है. आज की डेट में क्या है, मुझे पैकेज चाहिए 25 लाख का, 40 लाख का,
काम नहीं करना,
लेकिन फ्राइडे के बाद मुझे फोन मत करना.
काम नहीं करना. So 10-15, lot of things were happening. 10-15 days, there's some discussion, something, and then my boss said, GM साहब आपको बुला रहे हैं. I went. They said, Madam, from establishment, that time we used to have establishment, what you said, routine personnel. Management would like to transfer you to the IR department. I said, fine. So you, all those charge sheets to be drafted and all those things. I came home and shared this with my family that I'm being transferred to the IR department. And my family members, my father-in-law, my husband were very uncomfortable. They tried to convince me, don't go to IR. I said, no, if I'm working, whatever job management gives me, I will do it. And at that point of time, so I took that transfer to IR, and their consideration was, number one, first thing when I said to my boss, sir, without giving me an assignment, you have concluded I will not be able to handle. That thing had gone to that was reported to the general manager. A lot of things were happening, and men sometimes trade information with women. We had 5 unions and lots of disciplinary action had to be taken. So management wanted to maintain confidentiality, and they wanted to give this job to somebody who could learn preparing charge sheets and handling disciplinary matters and controlling and planning all those domestic inquiries, who could learn it very fast. They didn't have the time to. So they thought probably I could manage that, and I was transferred to IR department. That was one challenge which I took, and after that, I never looked back so far handling disciplinary matters is concerned. Today, HRD, everybody talks about. As Dhyan said, there are situations where I have received calls from HR heads, VP, senior VP, HR heads having, getting package of 60 lakhs, 80 lakhs. In one company, MD's driver started creating a problem, and he said to the HR head, that lady, madam, please deal with this. And that lady called me, madam, kya karun, kaise deal karun? Driver bahut badmashi kar raha hai. So these are, once you work on ground with your own hands, then only things happen. This was one example of self-leadership. And second example, one more thing, as I said, when the domestic inquiry and all those things started, initial period of time, senior management people were running around. They didn't have much time to give it to us. So we were sitting idle. All my other colleagues would keep on gossiping, and women doing that. One of my bosses used to say, women have nothing else to do, chatting, knitting, lunching, munching, chatting, knitting, eating. So when people used to gossip around having nothing to do, whatever we were taught about labor management and labor laws and all those things in MSW, industrial psychology, that time somehow we qualified. I really don't know how I qualified and how I got such good marks, but I didn't understand anything. So in public sector that time, work used to move slightly slowly. So instead of becoming part of the gossip clubs, I bought P.L. Malik and a couple of other books. And whenever I had less work, I would finish my work and then start reading, sitting at my desk without gossiping to others. So what I was doing theoretically, what I was reading theoretically in books and what was happening on ground, that was the time I really gained good knowledge of labor laws, studying simultaneously. And then I used to go to my boss sometimes when I had less work. Sir, please tell me this, give me more work. And another challenge was thrown to me. In NTPC, we had a system, manager, senior manager, and above levels. So they used to have induction program for the people who were in the promotion consideration zone. Whatever are the number of vacancies, 3 times the number of people, they would go through 15-20 days of 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, depending upon their system. You go through the training programs, and then you appear for internal selection process, interview, and all that, and then only promotion used to happen. My boss had to deliver lectures for cohorts who were being prepared from manager to senior manager level, and I was only a personal officer. He said, Mrs. Wadhwa, I don't have much time, but I have to prepare for my lecture. Can you help me? That was not an internet time. That was really not an internet time. I told my boss, sir, give me time. I will do something for you. I went to the corporate office library. I went to other libraries. My father was in a library. He was director of the Delhi Public Library. I went to his library, collected some books. For 1 week, 10 days, I kept on reading those books, and I prepared his background lectures. I prepared the training session for my boss, which was to be delivered for 3 levels above me. Another thing for self leadership and taking initiative, when I joined Centaur Hotel, another challenge, I became, somehow I got caught into the politics of between senior people. Some murder had taken place in the hotel, and union leaders were under suspension, and case was going on. And suddenly, just 1 week after my joining, my boss calls me at 4 o'clock in the evening, Mrs. Wadhwa, tomorrow there is at 30,000 courts. Please go and represent the management. Tomorrow is the date. Young lady, just imagine, I was hardly about 30 years of age or something that time. 30, 31. In my entire family, nobody had seen a court. The kind of family we come from, we had never seen a police station. Nobody had seen a court. I had dealing with those, that murder case. What do you do? And that was out of politics. He just wanted to, he was testing me, and he wanted to see that, I don't settle down there. Very difficult situation. And that time we were not having those cars and all. We bought a car later. I just went to my general manager. I said, sir, tomorrow I have to represent the company in 30,000 courts. Just provide me the car. Because that time we used to have white ambassador cars, government of India and all that, those white, curtains, and it gives you an aura. Yes. It
Status symbol.
Yes, status symbol, aura. You are going to the court. GM said, fine, you take it. I came home. My husband was very uncomfortable. He said, I will go with you tomorrow. I said, no, you will not go with me. If those union guys spot you coming with me, they will say she has brought her bodyguard. I will be neutralized there and then. I will be neutralized. You will not come with me. I will go myself. But that day I was lucky. It was RH. I just went to the court. That white ambassador judge had come, and the presiding officer of that court was also a lady judge. So she gave some next date and came back. So my test was over, but I did not. Today, when I look back, I am a posh expert also, and I give this example to other people sometimes. Today's time, if a male officer sends a young lady to a court in this kind of a situation, the lady will suddenly say sexual harassment. I still maintain that was not sexual harassment. That was harassment, that was organizational politics, but that was certainly not sexual harassment, and that should never make you feel weak.
नहीं, इशिता तो मना कर देगी. इशिता बोलेगी सर मैं नहीं जाऊंगी, मेरा काम प्लेसमेंट का है.
Another leadership lesson is having patience and not losing your cool. First time in Centaur, when I was get out, again, I got caught between the corporate politics of some senior people. One lobby wanted to hire somebody from outside. One lobby did not want to hire. I got hired somehow. I don't know, and I became unknowingly, unwantedly, I became part of that. So some people masterminded my Ghirao, and I had a small cabin where it was not so small, but I would still call it small cabin. Security manager out of the hotel.
मैडम बच्चों को एक बार बता दीजिए घेराव होता क्या है, क्योंकि इन लोग को पता आइडिया नहीं है घेराव क्या होता है.
पता ही नहीं,
कोई आइडिया नहीं है घेराव क्या होता है, कैसे होता है, क्या हालत होती है उस वक्त.
घेराव में ये होता है, लेट मी फॉर द स्टूडेंट सेक, one or two officers, you are talking to the union guys, you are talking to the fierce, fiery and aggressive militant union leaders. They have certain demands which are normally irrational and not in the policy this thing, and they want to apply pressure tactics. They want you to sign some papers or agree to some of their demands which are not justified. The demands are unjustified. They will come and stand outside you for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. You can't go to the toilet, you can't drink water, you can't have tea, you are just sitting there, and they are shouting and howling and thumping their fist on the table and shouting and howling and slogan shouting and whatnot. That is Ghirao. So first time when my Ghirao happened, and it was masterminded. General manager of the hotel was out of the hotel. Security manager was out of the hotel, and that time it was known as P&A department. So the head of P&A was out of the hotel, and the union guys came. In my small cabin, as many people, एक दूसरे के ऊपर चढ़ के, they just pounding upon each other. 20-25 people, 25-30 people, and people who were standing in the front row thumping their fist on my table. हमारा ओवर टाइम क्यों नहीं हुआ, ये क्यों नहीं हुआ, some of their demands, and they were shouting and you will not imagine, it was so tough. My legs were trembling inside my sari, though I was sitting with a firm face. That was the time I decided I am not going to lose my cool, I am not going to lose my patience. Let me see what they can do. The only thing was, and in this hotel I had come to know, the only thing I had come to know was, one thing I had come to know was, in the past in this hotel, head of P&A was beaten up badly by the unions. His 2 front teeth were broken, and they had beaten up one general manager also. In one single room, one general manager was also slapped. For a lady, anyone physically touching a lady, outraging her modesty, the lady is finished. The female is finished when somebody is physically touches her and outrages her modesty. That was the biggest challenge for me, that I will not allow these men to touch me physically. So I was sitting like this, looking, staring in their eyes. Inside, my legs were trembling, my body was trembling inside, but outside I was putting up a very, very bold face, and I told those guys, you want to thump my table? Go on thumping. You want to say Indu, Wadhwa, Murdabad? Go on saying that. But what you are telling me, I'm not going to agree. I'm not going to sign the papers what you want me to sign. I will sign where I feel like signing. And if any one of you misbehaves with me in any manner, I know the power of my pen. I will use the power of my pen later after this thing is over. And this scenario lasted almost for 2 hours, because somehow security manager got Wherever he had gone, somebody made that time was not cell phone. So somebody made a phone call to him and he came running and all that, and he rescued me. So when you are in a difficult situation, crying is very easy. Thinking that I have lost, I am gone, what will happen to me? I can't handle this. You are gone. Ajay sir, I was talking about power of mind. Under such situations, if you can manage the thoughts which are crossing your mind, if you can get hold of your thoughts, and not only you are able to observe your thoughts, you are able to create the thoughts of your choice. मुझे कुछ नहीं होगा, मैं इनसे डरने वाली नहीं हूं, ये लोग मेरा कुछ नहीं कर सकते. When you create such thoughts, you are able to sail through such situations. So this is again, when you come across a difficulty, do not lose patience. Absolutely do not lose patience. Now, another thing is, don't wait for your boss every time. Don't wait for your boss every time to tell you something. When some ideas come to your mind, go to your boss, tell your ideas, sir, if you permit me, I would like to share some ideas. Then share your ideas with the boss. If he agrees, he allows, implement those. If he does not allow, don't feel bad. Absolutely don't feel bad. How do you present your idea? That's also important. There have been situations, I have witnessed meetings where boss is saying something and a bright young person has some good idea and that person speaks, and the boss is very, very egoistic. He takes it literally. He thinks that this youngster is trying to show that he is intelligent or she is more intelligent than me. And that boss is then after that meeting, the boss starts chasing and harassing this person. How do you present your ideas in a meeting? Politely, if it is possible, do it. Otherwise, go to him one-on-one and with all humility and respect. Say your ideas with all humility and respect. If the boss agrees, fine. If he does not agree, do not take it badly. Now, the other side of the same situation, the ideas. When I became the boss, when I became senior enough that I had management trainees and other people reporting to me and youngsters reporting to me, one of my standard dialogues with my staff used to be, whenever an idea comes to you, please come and talk to me. Whenever a new idea comes to you, please come and talk to me. And then with a rider, I used to say, this is a large company. I am only an HR head. There is managing director, there are directors, there are a whole lot of other multi-tier management. And then when there are large groups, then the management structure is 3-tiered. So for certain ideas to be approved, you have to go 3 levels above, and then only you get the approval and you implement it. So I used to tell them, give me your ideas. I am not having the total decision-making power. I will see, churn, think about the idea, talk to the other stakeholders in the senior management. If we are able to implement, I will certainly implement. If we are not able to implement, don't mind it. And I'm pre-warning you, more than 90% of the ideas will be struck down by the senior management. But that should not demotivate you. You please keep on coming to you. Your job is to keep on coming to me. And whatever 10% of their ideas we could implement, this strategy paid very, very rich dividends to me. This strategy paid very rich dividends to me. And I would say, I was generous enough to give them the credit where it was due. We will implement, think, take approval, and then I would tell my boss also, this idea, this guy started, then I kept thinking, refined it further, but originally, this is the person who has given this idea. So this paid me rich dividends in all situations. Management thought that I am a proactive person. Management thought that I take care of my staff. And management also thought that she's not afraid of new ideas or not afraid of her staff more intelligent than her. This was another thing. One more management lesson I would like to tell you is, we have to act as mentor and guide to our colleagues and also our subordinates. We all have systems of performance management, KRAs, this, that, whole lot of these things. One unwritten KRA, I believe, for the managers is coaching and mentoring others around, and especially coaching and mentoring your staff. Challenge them, coach them. Don't give them ready-made answers when they come to you with a problem. First, coach them. Question them like a coach. Once they are exhausted, then you give the solution. You may have the solution. Develop a solution-oriented thinking approach in their mind rather than just problem solving. They go to the boss, start crying, and the boss gives solutions. So develop them. And coach and guide your colleagues also where required. But coaching and guiding the colleagues is different, and coaching and mentoring the subordinates is different. Here also one of the examples I will give you. I was in Central, and there the in charge of chemical lab left. And then after a lot of deliberations, that person was homegrown. He had grown from the ranks. And when that person left, after a lot of deliberations, management told me, please hire a PhD in chemistry. And the overall in charge of this setup was a BTech engineer. I went to him, I said, let's develop the job description and then how we are going to do it. And I had done my homework. I knew it's not going to be an easy fill up. This vacancy is not going to be easy. So I had to go to Delhi University, go to chemistry department, and people on the verge of completing the PhD. So it was all my thought process. How will I fill up this vacancy? Placement consultants will not be able to give us the kind of person we are looking at. So when I talked to this senior manager in charge of that area, that we are going to hire a PhD and let's write the job description and how we are going to do about it. And first thing he said, Mrs. Wadhwa, I am not going to have a PhD in my department. I said, why? मैं तो बीटेक हूँ, आप मुझे PhD दे दोगे, वो मेरी रिस्पेक्ट कैसे करेगा, मैं उससे काम कैसे करवाऊँ? How will I make him work for me? He was absolutely, you go and convince the management, I am not going to have a PhD. You can have BTech or BE chemical engineering, but I am not going to have anybody, not even MTech. BTech or BE chemical engineering, I am not going to have anybody PhD. So I said, come, let's go out for lunch together. And we used to have lots of joints within that commercial complex. So we went out for lunch together one fine day. And I asked him, what are your fears? So his first fear was the knowledge of a young PhD will be far more than my knowledge. I said, second fear, please speak it. He was not speaking. I made him speak. I said, are you fearing that he will take away your job? You will be jobless or you will be fired because of him? So that also came out of him. This way. Then I told him, I said, look, you are overall in charge. Directly, you are not managing the lab. Apart from lab, you have other things to handle. You have a role. His role will be part of your role, not your entire role. He will be only managing the lab. And second thing, then I told him, I said, please do not have this in mind that you have to compete with your subordinates in terms of knowledge. You are not going to compete with him. Your role is to manage him, to utilize his knowledge, to exploit his knowledge to the fullest so that he gets the credit, you also get the credit. So instead of thinking that he will be challenging you in terms of knowledge, how will he complement your knowledge and how will he complement your career growth? Think in those terms, and then it will not be a fear for you. He could see through what I was saying, and then that was really a success point. Another lesson which I learned was when you are in a dead end, ready-made solution is not available. You are in a dead end situation. Think of innovative ideas, think of new ideas. Your ideas may be absurd, may not be workable, but straight away, then have the courage to speak up your ideas at the right forum. Then have the courage to speak up at the right forum. In Samtel only, sales and marketing had left and we were not able to find, because at that point of India, there were only 4 companies in the picture tube technology and Samtel was the best. So from the other 3 companies, management would not like it and they were not keen to have somebody else from a totally different technology. And from full-fledged TV, nobody will come. Only the TV components industry people will come. I went to my boss and I said, sir, why don't you do one thing? why don't you transfer a senior person from the procurement department to the sales and marketing department? And they were surprised. What? I said the core skill for both functions is negotiation skill. Sales and marketing negotiation skill, procurement is negotiation skill. And some bit of knowledge seniors can share with him, and why don't you try this? Initially, they were very skeptical. Then 1 week later, my boss called me again. He said, we are really senior management, we are really mulling over your idea, and let's see. And this is what they implemented. So these are some of the real life management and self-management and leadership lessons which I would like to share. Then we have balance on some other questions from
Yes,
Dhyan,
ma'am.
and then what my advice for the students, Dhyan. What next
No,
questions you have? I'll go on
hold
talking.
hold on.
I have hundreds of experiences to share. I have
Hold
to
on,
see the
hold on.
time also. Yes, Dhyan.
You are like an entire Bhagavad Gita, right? So it
I am
depends
not
on the
Bhagavad
depth.
Gita, but I wanted to say this thing to the students. Anyway, that I'll come to that.
So we need a lot of depth to understand you, but the time we have for this call is an hour.
Yes,
So
that's. I was looking at the watch also.
we are
So
at
for the next
6:46.
question.
So my next question is, ma'am, there are a lot of aspiring HR professionals who want to specialize in HRBP. You know HRBP, right? Now, in HRBP, POSH is one of the very important domain area. So, can we work out with DSPSR and create a sort of certification program on POSH, which you lead as a trainer, and you make them हिंदी में जैसे बोलते हैं पक्का, ताकि वो निर्भय रहें, इंडिपेंडेंट रहें, प्रोबिंग करना सीख जाएं, फैक्ट फाइंडिंग कैसे करते हैं वो पता करें, प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ नेचुरल जस्टिस जो होते हैं हमारे ऑडी अल्टरम पार्टम साइन नॉन कॉजा, उसका ध्यान रखें, because that is also like domestic inquiry only.
Absolutely, it's a variant of domestic inquiry. Yes.
Yeah, which only a person like you can teach them. Professors or teachers in academic institutes are not trained to handle that as a subject. They would see this subject generically. So would you be keen to help the students on commercial basis? Where,
Absolutely. I have conducted more than 70 POSH inquiries in the last 10 years, 11 years. In fact, I was dealing with POSH as a subject 10 years earlier than the law came up. In G4S, all those lady guards and those issues of sexual harassment I have done. That time I used to deal through my common sense and IR.
For HR students, we can make a course open where DSPSR would charge a fee for a batch, and then you will train them, and then you know how it works, right? Then another area which is your expertise is your coaching and mentoring, executive coaching, and resume writing. Now, resume writing, see, madam, how it works. In college, every student is given a standard format to write the resume. उसको उसी फॉर्मेट में रिज्यूमे लिखना है और उसी फॉर्मेट में प्लेसमेंट कंपनी के पास जाएगा. कितनी बड़ी गलती है, आप सब खुद सोचिए.
बहुत ज्यादा बड़ी गलती.
अब चक्कर क्या है मैडम, समस्या यह है कि बच्चा लड़ नहीं सकता सिस्टम से. अब किसी बच्चे के अंदर कोर कॉम्पिटेंस नेगोशिएशन के, किसी के अंदर कोर कॉम्पिटेंस टेक्नोलॉजी के, किसी के अंदर कोर कॉम्पिटेंस प्रोसेसेस की है, किसी के अंदर कोर कॉम्पिटेंस आई फॉर डिटेल्स की है, कोई म्यूजिक में अच्छा है, कोई किसी हर अलग अलग डोमेन्स हैं सबके. पर कॉलेज क्या करता है, एक स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्मेट दे देता है, नेम, फादर्स नेम, डेट ऑफ बर्थ, एजुकेशन, परसेंटेज कितनी थी, कौन सा कोर्स किया है, और वो टेम्पलेट जाके कॉर्पोरेट को पकड़ा देता है. अब कॉर्पोरेट को समझ ही नहीं आता उस रिज्यूमे का करे क्या. तो क्या करता है, वो 40 50 इंटरव्यू लेके इतना थक जाता है, जब 41वां आदमी आता है जो सबसे काबिल होता है,
उसका इंटरव्यू ढंग से नहीं होता.
तो मैं बोलता है जयराम जी की नमस्ते भैया. तो नाउ resume writing is one area. So can we work out a mechanism which I was thinking of with you, where on commercial basis anybody who's interested to we don't violate the policy of the organization, right? but we definitely broaden the policy of the organization to have some core competence, right? And you write the resume for them. Basis the आपका क्या सिस्टम है, आप पहले इंटरव्यू लेते हो कैंडिडेट का, राइट?
Yes,
फिर उसके
मैं तो
बाद आप
पहले
रिज्यूमे,
इंटरव्यू करता
फिर आप उसका रिज्यूमे बनाते हो प्रिसाइजली टू द जॉब फॉर विच ही इज अप्लाइंग। तो जब वो कॉर्पोरेट में जाके मिलता है तो कॉर्पोरेट वाले को कागज देख के लगता है कि ये भगवान ने बंदा बनाया ही मेरे लिए है, ये धरती पे आई ही मेरी वजह से, मेरे लिए है, नहीं तो इसका धरती पे आना ही बेकार था। तो
Dhyan,
क्या
yes, we can talk about these things offline also. I have couple of advice for the for the students, because I'm looking at the watch also. ये हम बात कर लेंगे whatever services I can offer right now. मेरे को इंडस्ट्री ने बहुत कुछ दिया है. I have been very fortunate. I have worked with some of the best मैनेजर्स इन द इंडियन इंडस्ट्री. सर चरत राम का नाम तो मैंने ले दिया. पुराने लोगों को शायद रोमेश सरीन, आरसी सरीन साहब का भी नाम पता होगा. मैंने कुछ उस तरह के लोगों के साथ काम किया हुआ है. तो आई हैव बीन वेरी फॉर्चुनेट. दिस इज माय टाइम टू गिव बैक टू द सोसाइटी इन विच एवर फॉर्म आई कैन. वो मैं कर दूंगी.
सिंह साहब फिर से
टुडेज
बस हो
फोरम, couple of things I would like to tell them.
सिंह साहब भी यही करते हैं, he only gives he never want
मुझे
anything.
नहीं वांट भी चाहिए, वांट भी करेंगे लेकिन गिव भी करेंगे, बिकॉज हमें हमारे बॉसेस ने दिया बहुत. मैंने जिस बॉस के पास जाके जो उल्टे सीधे सवाल पूछे मेरे को बिठा के उन्होंने जवाब दिए.
So madam,
क्योंकि मैं सवाल बहुत पूछती थी. जब मैं जॉब
so
करती थी मैं
madam,
अपने बॉस से सवाल बहुत पूछती थी.
somehow we want to get into a closer network, and offline we can of course talk about it, but I just wanted to give you a heads
Yes,
up
yes,
that
yes, we can do. मेरे को स्टूडेंट्स को एक दो खास एडवाइस देनी है, बिकॉज दे आर एट द
बोलिए,
बिगिनिंग ऑफ
प्लीज
द
बोलिए
करियर.
मैडम।
राइट नाउ एज यू नो इट, आई एम ए पॉश एक्सपर्ट. आई कंसल्ट इन द पॉश एरियाज. एक कंपनी को मैं CHRO की तरह गाइड करती हूँ. कोई पॉलिसी राइटिंग आ जाए, HR कंसल्टिंग कम करती हूँ. एग्जीक्यूटिव कोचिंग एंड मेंटरिंग एंड करियर ट्रांजिशन कोचिंग. आई एम फोकसिंग इन ए बिग वे इन करियर ट्रांजिशन कोचिंग. करियर डेवलपमेंट इज पार्ट ऑफ करियर ट्रांजिशन एंड पॉश एंड ऑल. वन ऑफ द
मैडम
थिंग्स आई
मैडम
वुड.
आपको
हाँ जी,
समझाना पड़ेगा कैरियर ट्रांजिशन होता क्या है, क्योंकि मेरे ख्याल से बच्चे समझते नहीं है कैरियर
इनको
कैरियर
करियर
काउंसलिंग और
डेवलपमेंट ही
कैरियर
समझ में.
ट्रांजिशन में फर्क क्या है। एक मिनट,
हाँ
कैरियर
जी.
ट्रांजिशन और कैरियर कोचिंग में फर्क क्या है, बच्चों को शायद पता नहीं होगा, एक बार थोड़ा सा छोटे से में बता दीजिए।
See, career development is when you are developing your career by design. आप प्लान मूव करते हैं करियर की. अभी अगले 3-4 साल में मुझे ये रोल करना है, फिर ये रोल करना है, फिर ये क्वालिफिकेशन लेना है, फिर इस तरफ जाना है. Career transition is a major career change. It may happen due to two reasons. One is, right now you must be hearing nowadays, I think a lot of news is going around. TCS to fire 12,000 employees. Intel fired so many employees. BlackRock fired so many employees. So sometimes a lot of things happen within the company where you have no control. Management does some restructuring and people have to go out. Per force, you have to find the next job. Sometimes you want to change your field. From here, right now, you started off somewhere in accounts and finance, then you become data analyst and you want to become data scientist, or you want to go to a different field. So by choice or per force, when you are changing your job or changing your career line, that is career transition. So career development to me, to my mind, is a part of career transition only. Every time there has to be a move. So right now, this was the advice I wanted to give you. When you are after completing your MBA, MTech, or whatever courses you are doing in higher management, in higher education, plan your career. Start your career in a planned manner. कहीं पे भी कोई भी एक नौकरी मिल जाए, उस कंपनी में मत घुस जाइए. Do some soul searching. आपका इंटरेस्ट कहाँ है? सेकेंड थिंग इज स्टडी द इंडस्ट्री. इंडस्ट्री कहाँ जा रही है, किस टाइप की अपॉर्चुनिटीज आगे आने वाली हैं, किस टाइप के करियर्स होने वाले हैं. स्टार्ट ऑन द राइट नोट and then move in the right direction. And another thing is, earlier when I got into this career transition coaching 12 years back, that time I experienced, and I used to tell my coaches, every 10 years there will be a disruptive situation where people have to find job per force in 10 years time.
एआई ले लीजिए मैडम, एआई इज द बिगेस्ट
मैं उसी पे
अपॉर्चुनिटी
आ
फॉर
रही थी,
करियर
मैं
ट्रांजिशन।
उसी पे आने वाली थी. आज की डेट में मैं वो देख रही हूँ, वो टाइम 10 साल नहीं रह गया, वो 5 साल रह गया. Every 5 years, I personally foresee there will be a disruptive phenomena. 2-3 disruptive चीजें बता देती हूँ, आप लोग नेट पे ढूंढेंगे तो 50 मिल जाएंगी. When iTunes came, radio became irrelevant. When Uber came, surface transport, पीली काली taxi, that yellow taxi became irrelevant. Amazon came, and during this COVID time, retail industry went in for a toss because of this online shopping and e-commerce. So today AI has come. When you are starting your career, the way I see changes happening in the next 5 year in industry. The nature of work is going to change. The nature of work itself is going to change. Companies will expect that a human beings come, you bring in human qualities, you bring in professional knowledge and professional competencies or skills. You also bring in automation skills or AI skills, so that overall, when you deploy AI tools also, you are able to understand AI models, you are able to create your own personal AI agent, then your personal productivity amplifies. When we were working, we used to have teams comprising of human beings. Within the next 3-4 years, I personally foresee managers, middle managers and senior managers will not manage all human teams. They will manage hybrid teams where some work is done by human being, some work is done by AI agents, some AI tools, AI agents, AI models, whatever you want to call it. So my submission to you will be, and I personally feel up to a certain point of career, when you, unless you become an HOD or you become very senior, till that point of time, everybody will be required to function as an AI generalist, and also if some kind of specialist of your function, as Dhyan said, HRBP. Apart from HR knowledge, skills, competencies, you are also required to have to understand AI, generic knowledge of AI, and I would suggest do your research, at least 10 basic AI tools which can amplify your productivity. Master those tools and then go for interviews. You have whole lot of whole entire 30-40 years to work. For 2 months or 3 months, if you don't work, heavens will not fall. During the next 2-3 months, acquire mastery, whether in terms of certifications or degrees are going to be passing, certification or no certification, that skill level, a very good skill level of certain AI tools, master that, and then go to industry for interviews and start your job. As Dhyan just now said, resume, one size fits all. If somebody writes, apart from whatever MBA and this I have done, I have also acquired good expertise in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 skills, AI skills. I can prepare my own personal AI assistant, AI agent, AI assistant. Who will not call him for the interview? And if you can talk in the interview that this is how I will increase the productivity of the department I join, who will not give you a job? Then you will be edge over the other candidates who don't have this knowledge.
That's exactly the point. That is where people have to be prepared.
So another then I'll leave it for the question answers.
Achha, madam, tell me one thing. There is DSPSR is 25-year-old organization.
Hanji.
Lot of senior people are existing in the industry who were earlier alumni of DSPSR. Some of them are startup CEOs. Some of them are general managers. In fact, I in my profession have placed so many of them. And they are actually bright people. Now, let us say there is a situation where we float a proposal to our alumni through our CRC that in case there is an abrupt change in our career. For example, organization says that कि भाई सुरेंद्र कुमार सिंह आज से आप परचेज नहीं देखेंगे, ठीक है, आज से आप एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन देखेंगे. नाउ परचेज एंड एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन आर डिफरेंट वर्ल्ड्स. अब सुरेंद्र सिंह का मन है कि इसी कंपनी को ज्वाइन में रहे, उसको छोड़े ना. तो आर यू विलिंग टू वर्क partner with DSPSR on doing their career transition coaching for senior people in case DSPSR request for help?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Ishita has a question, I think.
Yes, please.
First of all, thank you so much, ma'am, and good evening, ma'am. Today's session is really commendable and wonderful, ma'am. While giving you answer, I just disappeared in your voice and answer. So my question is very basic, and I don't know how much relevant these questions, but still I want to know answers from expertise and distinguished speakers like you. Ma'am, as you rightly mentioned, that think of new ideas and innovation. So what is the best practice to go ahead for thinking new ideas and innovation, specifically for the fresh blood, and also for the average students who just don't think much beyond their boundary?
Okay, so then I will weave together what Professor Ajay has in his mind, and Dhyan said Gita and all. Best practices somehow हमारा mind जो है, we are conditioned by the modern education system to look for everything outside. All knowledge is inside. All power, all knowledge, everything is inside. अपने अंदर झांकिए, अपने अंदर झांकिए, आपको सब कुछ आंसर्स मिलेंगे. ध्यान ने गीता बोला. अनफॉर्चुनेटली, और ये मेरे दिल के अंदर एक बहुत बड़ी टीस है, आपने मेरी दुखती रग छेड़ दी है, मेरे मन के अंदर बड़ी तकलीफ है. लॉर्ड मैकाले ने जब हमारा एजुकेशन सिस्टम डिस्ट्रॉय कर दिया, वेस्टर्न फॉर्मेट पे ले आया एजुकेशन को, तो जो हमारे स्क्रिप्चर्स की नॉलेज थी वो सारी निकल गई. हर एक चीज का आंसर, गीता तो हमारी लाइफ का मैनुअल है. लाइफ का मैनुअल है. कुछ कुछ थोड़ी बेसिक्स जो अगर आप एक्सपोजर स्टूडेंट्स को दें हमारे स्क्रिप्चर्स में जाने का, स्पिरिचुअलिटी के बिल्कुल बेसिक चीजों में जाने का, इतनी इनोवेटिव आइडियाज आएंगे कि आप रोक नहीं पाएंगे अपने आप. आपको जो यूनिवर्सिटी ने फॉर्मेट दिया हुआ है, जो आपके एआईसीटी है, जो भी आपकी गवर्निंग बॉडीज हैं, उनका जो सिलेबस है, जो कुछ है, उसके अलावा आपके गेस्ट स्पीकर्स कुछ कुछ होते होंगे, कुछ एक एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट करके हाउ टू गो डीप विद इट, फाइंड आंसर्स, और कुछ दो चार चीजें आई कैन हेल्प यू स्क्रिप्चर्स की क्या उन बच्चों को बताएं, पढ़ाएं, ये सब अपने आप निकल के आ जाएगा. ये सब निकल के आ जाएगा. कोई बड़ी चीज नहीं, बहुत बड़ी चीज नहीं है. सिर्फ बड़ी चीज एक ही है कि हम क्या, जो आपको मैंने बोला ना स्टार्टिंग में, वक्रतुंड महाकाय, जिसके लिए मैं आपकी तारीफ कर रही थी, एक्सीलेंस, वैल्यूज एंड ट्रेडिशन, सिर्फ इंडियन ट्रेडिशंस को हम फॉलो कर लें, हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम के ट्रेडिशंस को फॉलो कर लें, बहुत कुछ मिल जाएगा. आपका अगले 4-5 साल के अंदर ही आपकी रेटिंग और आपके इंस्टीट्यूट का नाम आगे बढ़ जाएगा. लेकिन अगले 4-5 साल मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी. ये ट्रेडिशंस अभी तो बोल रहे हैं आप वक्त, आई एम वेरी श्योर आप लोग जरूर बहुत कुछ कर रहे होंगे, तभी आपने इस तरह के सेशंस ऑर्गेनाइज कर रहे हो. थोड़ा और डीप में जाकर के चले जाएं इंडियन ट्रेडिशंस, बहुत कुछ निकल के आ जाएगा.
I
आई डोंट
would
नो
like
वेदर आई.
to I would like to share with you, Induji, right from day one in DSPSR, when the first class started in 1999.
Yes.
We
I know.
are, starting the day with meditation generally.
फैंटास्टिक.
And I am Delhi Prant Adhyaksh of Bharatiya Shikshan Mandal, which is devoted for ensuring that Bharatiyata is brought in the education system. So we would like to have you in on the panel of Bharatiya Shikshan Mandal also, because you are so passionate about Indian knowledge system and things like that. So that is another platform where I am engaged into. And today also I conducted a session with them wherein knowing yourself, knowing your divine calling and things like that were conducted. I will share with you some videos and all that also. Like this is on social media platform, what we are discussing with the corporate world. Similarly, that is also available. And that is what Dhyan was saying. मैंने बिस्किट खाना छोड़ दिया. तो क्या लाइफस्टाइल होना चाहिए, क्या खाना चाहिए, क्या नहीं खाना चाहिए, ये सब चीजें भी उसमें हैं. So Indian scriptures is not only about gyan of something which is very hi-fi. It is also about the basic things of life, how you have to breathe and how you have to drink and how you have to eat and so on and so forth. So everything about every part of life, everything of life, it has knowledge about. Dhyan is smiling. Finally.
I'm getting influenced actually.
यार मैंने खाना नहीं
मैं
छोड़ा,
मजाक नहीं
बिस्किट
कर रहा हूँ
मैंने
भाई साहब.
बनाना शुरू कर
मैं
दिया, जो
धीरे
खाना
धीरे
होता घर
इन्फ्लुएंस
पे
होता जा
बनाना
रहा
शुरू
हूँ.
कर दिया, मिठाई और बिस्किट.
मैं धीरे धीरे इन्फ्लुएंस होता जा रहा हूँ. मेरी बेटी ने लॉटे चोकोपाई मंगाए आज सुबह. तो मैंने बोला बेटा अच्छी चीज नहीं खाने के लिए, ये मैं नहीं लगा दूंगा आपको. लॉटे चोकोपाई दैट, वो भी बिस्कुट की तरह होता है, बीच में चॉकलेट होती है.
तो अच्छा है, दैट इज गुड. टाइम हो गया है मेरे ख्याल में. वी
आई
हैव
थिंक वोट
एक्सीडेड
ऑफ
द
थैंक्स
टाइम
कौन दे रहा है?
लिमिट.
इशिता.
Ishita, who is giving vote of thanks?
ओके. इशी देयर.
Are you there, Ishita?
Looks like she's dropped off or something. We can't see her face of name
No,
also.
she's there. She's
I
there.
am,
She's there. But she has to be made
I am
co-host.
giving vote.
She has to be made co-host. So Arun, please make her co-host.
Yeah, she has joined back. She has joined back. Please make her co-host. Arun, are you listening? Yeah, she is the co-host now.
Done. So, Ishita, let's go for vote of thanks. सिंह साहब आपके पास इंदु वादा मैडम का नंबर है?
उनको ग्रुप में ऐड कर लेना ना आप.
हाँ मैं आपको नंबर अलग से भेज देता
हूँ. हाँ, आप ग्रुप में ऐड करें ना. I don't know if Ishita is able to hear or not.
Vishesh is giving vote of thanks, sir. Vishesh.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Acha, okay,
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead.
Yes, sir.
Vishesh, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. We are truly grateful for the presence of both our distinguished speaker and our moderator. Your valuable insights have made this session highly meaningful for all of us. On behalf of DSPSR, I sincerely thank Mrs. Indu Wadhwa ma'am and Mr. Dhyan Chauhan sir for their presence and invaluable contributions and for sharing your valuable time and knowledge with us. My gratitude also goes to our respected dignitaries, faculty members, and students for making this event successful. Thank you all and have a wonderful evening ahead.
Madam, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you. It was wonderful speaking.
Thank you, Dr. Mahesh. Thank you, Singh Sahab.
Thank you very much, Indu ji और ध्यान दोनों को बहुत-बहुत धन्यवाद.
धन्यवाद sir.
For making it very enriching experience for each one of us, and I was more delighted about listening to your, inner wisdom that you have. It was really great to listen to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you everyone. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.